Whoa, that finally has concluded day one of this auction. That was a long, long day. Lots of players, lots of excitement, lots of crazy bidding, lots of surprises in terms of players going unsold. May come back tomorrow when a lot of the unsold players will come back for round two. We, of course, are here to discuss all the goings on of today. Craziness, perhaps. Some of the sanity, even. Kisma News presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapoor. With me, Harsh Kapoor, Simon Dool, and Joy Bhattacharya. Simon, let's just start with you because I'm afraid that in New Zealand you may just pop off to sleep just any second. But I don't think you could fall asleep today. It was a long day, but the one thing it cannot be accused of is being boring or slow.
No, not at all. And you still, you come right to the end, and end of the day, you get guys like Shah Rukh Khan, Avish Khan. So it was a good end of the day for the Khans. Picked up 1.3 US, so 10 crore, I think, for close to it for both of them.
Yeah.
And then you find the strategy of teams just starting to come into play a little bit. I thought the wicket-keeping choices were interesting, letting some go, bringing some into their franchise and setup. So it was certainly not boring throughout the day. Strategies played a huge part. There's not a huge amount of money left, though. So some of those guys who didn't get to go into the auction today and who are waiting around for tomorrow will be thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to get the big money I was kind of hoping for, because a lot of it has gone today, and some of these teams have got very little left to spend tomorrow, and they're really just looking for bargains.
That is a problem, though, because we'll have a look at the purse that's left, and there was some splurging. There was some caution, Joy, up front today for the ones who came too early to the party, the marquee set. And then there was those who came fashionably late, sometime in the afternoon, evening. They got some big bids, and the people coming tomorrow, the party's over. Right? Party's over.
Just look at that. I mean, if you see the amount of money left, I mean, at this point in time, Lucknow with 6.9 and 11 players is not a player. And what happens if you have a situation like this is somebody like Mumbai, who's sitting with 27 crores at this point in time, can bully a few bids. That means it's going to be very difficult to stop them on players that they want. So they've made that sacrifice. They've sat back and seen some of their players go away. But they know that on day two, they have a night to think about it. They have a night to think logically about it. And tomorrow they can actually bully a few people because they have that extra 8-9 crores in their purse. And that's going to make a huge difference on day two. So I think Mumbai on day two, Punjab on day two are going to be really people who can decide their agenda. Because that 7-8 crore difference, and there's some franchises on 6 crores, and Lucknow is on 6 crores. Yeah. The other thing I'll say is that, I was thinking about it today, and one of the things that I would really like to have every team do as an exercise, and we did it only once in KKR in 2014, is saying, even if a player is not in your plans, even if a player is not in your plans, at what price do you say that he's just too good to let go?
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is, David Warner is not in my plans. He's not at all in my plans. I've not thought of him in my team. But hey, if David Warner is going for 7 crores, darn it, I'll pick him up.
Yeah,
so
fair point.
You almost make a list. You have that flexibility saying, if this guy is going at this price, I mean, you turn on, look at it and say 2.5 crores for this great Indian cricketer, I'm not going to let him go. So I think that's the one thing that teams don't do well. They put down a list of people they want, but what they also need to do is put down a list of people saying, if these guys, we may not seem to want them, but if at this price they're available, we should pounce.
Great. We've got Gautam Bhimani here. He's with us from Bangalore, from the auction room, and continuing the tradition of getting people who are twice his height.
I am so glad you spotted that, JK. I was requesting anybody who would be roughly my size, but Jake insisted he had to talk to us from the Rajasthan Royals. So there you go, at twice my size. Jake, let me just come to you very quickly. The one buy everyone's talking about is Shimron Hetmeyer. Obviously, you can't call that a bargain, but take us through your thoughts on Hetmeyer at 8+ crores.
Sure. So no, we're really happy with all our buys today, to be honest. We were going to be willing to go a little bit more to him, so we think we got good value there. He bats in that 5-6 role, and he's capable of winning IPL matches consistently for us. So we were delighted to get him on board. And following from that, I think we've probably got the two bargains of the auction in Ishan Chahar and Ravi Ashwin. So we're delighted with the day so far, and the day's completed, and looking forward to tomorrow. But we've built a really, really strong side, and going to enjoy some dinner tonight.
Yeah, so let me throw it at you because he can't. Yeah, so you're going to have to ask your questions through me, Simon. So.
So Gautam, I'm gonna ask you the question that you can ask Jake. They've got a few openers? Then is that a happy problem to have?
Well, I've got two questions I'm hearing there. One from Simon Dool, one from Gaurav Kapoor. I'm going to start with Dooley's question. Shimron Hetmeyer was not fit enough to play for the West Indies. Is that going to be a concern for you guys that you have a special trainer who you're going to employ for Shimron?
So we did speak to a number of people over there working with Shimron at the moment. I think he was playing a game a couple of days ago. So we've got some more background around those fitness areas, and he's working bloody hard to get in great shape. So that we've obviously got the Barbados Royals over there as well. So we've got a network out there, so we can work with that to ensure he's in the best shape possible for the season. And we're looking forward to having him with us in the setup.
All right, brilliant. And just to wrap it up, GK, you were asking about the openers?
Yes, a few openers there. Happy problem to have. Have they decided who's going to be going?
Yeah, so there are some franchises who are still looking for an opener. You've got a profusion of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, we see Panikkar playing the number 3 role. He's great against spin. We actually see his strike rate increasing as the power play, and him with Sanju in 4. We think that's a really high quality top 4 Shimron coming in afterwards. So, we've got, we had a luxury of keepers at the start. A lot of teams were stretching to get their keepers in. Now we've got a really strong top 3, so we're happy with the flexibility we've got on board.
Thanks, Jake. I'm going to let Jake go here because he was dropping hints because we can smell the food from here, GK. Spare a thought. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Well, there you have it from Ground Zero, guys. Dinner's about to be served, but we're still going to try and get as much for you as we can from here.
Thank you so much, GB. But listen, hey, you can smell the dinner. Harsha and me can't even smell dinner. It's coming up to Harsha's breakfast time, isn't it?
I'm just trying to think, unlike you and Joe, I don't have any roots or current stay in Gurgaon. So I don't understand all this. So I'm just thinking, look, poor Dooley. What does poor Dooley do? He's probably going to have lunch.
Now he's going to get some breakfast. He's going to get some eggs on real quick. That's going to happen. But let's just go team by team, right? Let's have a look at teams and say who's the ones who've got some dinner and dessert and who are the ones who've got a little bit of egg, not on their face. Let's see who's got a lot of slots to fill, who's got money, who's done well, who's not. Let's go team by team. All right. Director, who's the first one you're pulling up? We're ready for you, man. Bring it. I ain't hungry. Let's just start with Chennai, of course. We're going to start with Chennai. This is what their team is looking like. Their 4 retentions: MS Dhoni, Ravindra Jadeja, Moeen Ali, Rituraj Gaikwad. They've added most of their exes back, a lot of their exes back. In fact, KM Asif was also with them, wasn't he, Harsha? KM Asif is with them. Deepak Chahar, Ambati Raidu, Dwayne Bravo, Robin Uttapa. They don't want to fit anybody for new jerseys, do they, Harsha?
Where was Tushar Deshpande last year? I'm trying to remember. He played
He's
a
the only
game or
one.
2. Otherwise, there is nobody else. He's nobody else who wasn't in CSK last year.
Yeah.
What they're feeling sad about, if you go to their Twitter handle, whatever, is that they're in mourning about not being able to retain Faf du Plessis. But I still think they have some work to do. They've only got 2 overseas players. Now, I was hearing what Dooley was saying at the top. I think today was a player's day at the auction. Tomorrow is the team's day at the auction because they're going to get who they want at good prices.
Nice. And Dooley, that's something that Chennai and Mumbai both do really well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do it very well. I mean, they've still got 20.4 crore available to them. 2 overseas in the squad. So I don't know whether they'll go for 8 overseas unless they get a couple of bargains. You might see them go for 6, maybe 7. What do they need from an Indian point of view? Maybe one more quality middle order batsman, another quick bowler, and then they can fill the rest of those spots with some genuinely talented overseas players. And there's a lot. I was just having a look through the list. There's a huge amount of talent coming through both sides of it. The Indian side of it and the overseas side of it tomorrow. So there will be some bargains. I just feel that some of those players won't feel quite as good about the money they're getting tomorrow compared to some of the ones that got it today.
Joy, Chennai, they went after Deepak Chahar. We all expected them to go after, Deepak or Shardul, maybe both. But at this price, well, they never pushed the envelope beyond 10 crores at an auction. So today they've seen something new, some upgraded software from Chennai's thinking.
Absolutely. I think they did what they could, and they went after all their players. And from FAF onwards, they went after all their players. They wanted to retain. Unfortunately, they couldn't retain that much. And look, that is one of the curses of success in the IPL. If you're a successful franchise, people will cherry pick your guys and they'll go for more money later. Yeah. And that's what's happened. Other people have seen what these guys have done. They picked up their guys and they've just not been able to retain them. And Deepak Chahar, they would have turned around and said, great buy. But they would have hoped they got him for a bit cheaper than 14 crores because that's really, really cut into their budget for a lot of other stuff. So, I think retaining Deepak Chahar was one of those things that they had to do. But I think they paid just a little bit too much for him.
Harsha, they were really, really liking Shah Rukh Khan also one day.
They need a lot of players still. They
seem to have lost Harsha's signal. Oh, we got him back? No. We
got him back?
Go now?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, he's back now.
Yeah. I said they need another opening batsman because Robin is really at this stage a part-time opening he'll give you a few games, maybe not 14 games. They need more fast bowlers. They're going to be in the market for a lot of overseas players tomorrow.
Yeah. Shah Rukh Khan is one they were going after. Tewatia was another one they were going after. They've got MS Dhoni and Ravindra Jadeja, two of, the really good finishers. So couldn't understand why they were wanting another finisher there, but that's what they were going for. Wasn't to be for them though, but they have, of course, today the headline for Chennai has been they've got Deepak Chahar back at a whopping 14 crores, one of the highest prices today. The highest, isn't it? It's 14. No, sorry. It was Ishan was the highest, of course. So Deepak right up there as well. Let's have a look at the Bangalore team. And of course, didn't see it coming. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming. They've got Faf. They've got Faf du Plessis. Will Faf be their captain? Well, he's looking like a shoe-in right now. He's looking like the candidate. It's how they done in the auction today, Simon?
Pretty well. I think, they've bought fairly smartly. They've paid good money for Faf du Plessis, for Hasaranga and for Hazelwood, who has been a bit of a T20 revelation. So I think you've got 4 genuine starting overseas players there. So they only need backup tomorrow for their overseas stars, I think. And then you couple that around what they've already got in the likes of Kohli, Siraj, who can use that new ball. Harshal Patel maybe overspent a little bit getting him back, but he's a proven performer for them last year. Shabazz Ahmed, Rawat, so they've got a couple of keeping options as far as that's concerned, and Akashdeep. So they picked one up relatively cheaply at the back end. I think they've had a pretty good day, RCB. They always, we always see them go through their mock auctions. Who knows how many they get right, and they'll never tell us. But I think they've had a decent day.
Yeah. Who are you liking as captain there, Joy, Faf or DK?
No, I think Faf. I think Faf because exactly the same thing. I think DK, you've had a situation where DK has been under Virat Kohli. And I think Faf has a completely different, in Virat Kohli's mind, Faf is a completely different creature. He's, in that mold, the De Villiers mold of people that he really worships. And, I think Faf is a perfect captain for them. I think they've done well because exactly I was doing the same exercise that Dooley was doing, and they have 9 starters. That means they have 9 guys who walk into their first 11.
Yeah.
Assuming that one of Shahbaz or, they'll walk into the first 11. 9 out of 11 is not bad. They have enough purse left to pick up a couple of good international players. They can't actually not international. They need to play Indian players because I think they are done with their international. Because if you look at that list again, you've got, obviously, you're going to play Hasaranga. You're going to play all the guys that are there already. So if Hasaranga, Faf, AB, they play, you don't have anyone else left. You don't have a bench left.
Harsha, of course, the big news there is that Vanindu is Hassa because the rung today is green, baby, green.
That is a huge day in Sri Lanka. Actually, if you look carefully, they've got Maxwell 4, Dinesh Karthik 5. Maybe they need to buy a 6 and they need to buy an opener. Then they have Kohli at 3, Maxwell at 4, Dinesh Karthik at 5, somebody at 6, Hasaranga at 7, and the team is starting to look really good. So one opener, one at 6, and I think otherwise they're looking very, very good. Maybe one more spinner.
Don't you think Virat will open though? I think he's fancying that job though for Bangalore, so he's perhaps going to open over there. But maybe another top order batter somewhere to slot in there and spinner. All right, so quick, if you were to give some points to Bangalore, how they did today out of 10, come on.
Always look good on paper.
I'm saying 7.
They've done this thing before.
But they always
I've
look good on
spotted
paper.
this thing before that they tend to build a good squad, but somehow the 11 balance doesn't come in till midway through the tournament. Until then, it's a little late and they've got left behind. So hopefully they can fix that, Simon. They'll be looking to fix that.
Yeah, that's the one thing. They've got to start well. That's the key. I mean, I don't know whether they've got the money to go for Navdeep Saini tomorrow to get him back. I don't know about that, whether that 9 crore that they've got is going to be enough.
Yeah, they haven't got much money. They've got too many slots to fill.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get him because I think Navdeep Saini is going to be a 4, 5, 6 crore player tomorrow. So they'd love to get him back, but I don't see that happening. They need a number 3 batter. I think I'm with you. I think Virat should open the batting. I think they need a number 3, a quality number 3. So they'll look for one of those from an Indian point of view, and a quick bowler. And they've got to try and find one. Maybe they go, as I said earlier, for someone like Yash Dul. Maybe someone in that under 19 setup.
Last year they went through a whole bunch of number 3s. In fact, there was a lot of people who played at number 3. But anyway, that's Bangalore. Let's have a look at the next team. Who's next? Come on, bring it. I'm ready. Waiting. There you go. Kolkata is the next one. They did a fair bit of buying today, Harsha, and you're sitting in the city. I'm sorry, unless you were supposed to be in an undisclosed location, I've given it away.
No, not at all. Not at all. Look, I think they've covered a lot of ground today, apart from the 4 players they had originally. I think Shivam Mavi is a good buy, maybe a little expensive, maybe Nitish Rana a little expensive. But look, they've now got Pat Cummins. They need another fast bowler, I think, to go with Cummins, especially because you don't know when he's coming. He's probably coming a little later. So they need a couple more fast bowlers in there. They've got Venkatesh Iyer to open the batting. They probably need another there. And the wicket keeper that they've got is Sheldon Jackson. So they probably need another keeper. So I think they just need to be a little careful. They've got 12 crores left. They've only got 9 players. And they've got a few places to fill. So they've got to be a little careful about how they go about it tomorrow. They need some really good buys. So I think they've got a lot of work to do tomorrow.
Yeah, they do. Look at that. They've only got 9 players. Remember, it's a bare minimum of 18. I think they've played 1 year, 1 season or 2 seasons with the bare minimum that's required in a squad. But it's 18 as bare minimum and 25 as maximum. Joy, it's a serious thing right now that, I don't know if Brendan McCullum needs to dust off his gold-colored pads because will he need to play? Will they have the requisite number of players?
No, they'll just make it. I know they'll make it the last minute. The problem is exactly that. Also, the way they've now constructed their team, they'll just about manage to buy serviceable first 11 players. The moment you cross that, the kind of backups that they're going to get, at the prices they have, the kind of money they have left, they're not going to get great backups. And you have Sheldon Jackson, who definitely is not a starter. They're not looking at him as a starter. They're looking at an international keeper, definitely. Okay. If you look at the rest of it, Andre Russell is always an injury candidate. Pat Cummins may come in late. So you're trying to also see international first 11 players who you need to get because these guys may not be there. Pat Cummins may not be there at the start of the season. And that's one thing that should really worry them. I think they need to do a lot of really smart buying tomorrow and not punt on, say, under 19 players and pay a lot of money for them. They need to get smart international buys, at least 2-3 more quality international players and a couple of quality more Indian players. batsmen especially.
And
They're
of
going to
course,
miss Indian batsmen.
yeah, and of course, their captain, they bought him for 12.25 pretty early in the day, Simon. Looking at Shreyas Iyer as their captain, they haven't announced it. We had them on the show earlier. They haven't announced it, but it looks obvious, right? Given Pat Cummins' availability issues as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you want an Indian captain. You've got a ready-made one there. He's captained previously. He's another year and a half of experience on top of it. He's an international player now and a very, very good international player. My worry for Kolkata right now is where's their batting? Where is their batting at? I look through that lineup. Yes, the Ayers will do a bulk of the batting, but outside of that, what have they got? There's just nothing to speak of. I mean, Andre Russell hit and miss and has been more miss last year, and Nitish Rana, who they way overpaid for. So I just don't see that they've got a lot of batting strength, and they want to buy. You've got to buy proper batters. I just don't. I don't think they've had a good day. I'm giving them a 3 out of 10 today.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's a good point actually. They need the solid batters, and as Harsha said, they need a lot, and they haven't got much money left. So it feels like they're going to.
Can I say something here, Gaurav?
Yes, Joy.
Can I say something?
Of course. That's why we.
Can you imagine what the? I mean, can you imagine the same situation had they picked up Nicholas Puran for 10.75?
Yeah, one second. I didn't get it. I did. Yeah, there you go. Simon's reaction is right there. Simon's giving us memes today. He really is. I didn't get it. I didn't get that they went up to 10 crores for Puran. I don't know who they bought after that, because I'm sure they would have got him for 10.
They bought Shiva Mavi after that. They couldn't have bought him after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, who could they have bought after that if they had gone?
The one good thing, though, Gaurav, one good thing going for them is tomorrow is a franchisee's day, not a player's day. So they might be able to get a lot of good players where the others don't have a lot of money, and they might be able to get a lot of good international players at relative prices. I mean, for example, they need somebody to open the batting with Venkatesh Iyer.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to be looking at someone like an Ajinkya Rahane, for example? They'll probably get him at base price. So you might get players like that you can now start to fill in. They definitely need a couple of international fast bowlers, because Indian fast bowlers are going for a lot of money. So they'll have to find those players, from tomorrow. I mean, for example, Odean Smith goes for big money. Liam Livingston goes for big money. I'm not sure they can afford those players if they go for big money. They might get someone like an Asalanka, for example. I think Charat Asalanka is a very good player. They might go for a Dushmant Chamira, who's a very good bowler, overseas fast bowler. So they might have to do something like that. Tomorrow is a big day for KKR.
Okay, let's have a look at the next team. Bring in, it's Delhi. Delhi actually has had a good day today. I have them as one of the front runners of the day, if not the front runner of the day today. Joy, look at them. They've ticked a lot of boxes. They've got a little diverse bowling lineup. They've got a couple of smart buys in there as well. They've done well today, haven't they?
They've done well. Very interesting thing. People underrate this a lot. They've participated, if you notice, in a lot of bidding. Okay? There's a lot of guys they've gone in for, and they haven't managed to get them, but they've gone in there. Because they've always said, if you're going to get this player this price, we're going to keep trying. Okay, yeah. And that's a sign of a franchise that's done a lot of homework. That means instead of the coaching staff saying we have only 30 players on our list, they're saying we have 80 players on our list, keep going for this player up to this level. So if you notice, Delhi was one of the most active people in going after as many people as they had. And they had a cutoff price. So at that cutoff price, they suddenly used to turn around and say, okay, after this, I won't bid. But I think they've got themselves a very diverse attack. I think they've got themselves a fairly explosive top 3 or 4 batsmen, and they've got the steal of the auction so far. I mean, every time I say Deepak Chair 14 crores and David Warner 6.25, I just think about it, and I mean, or even other players. Shimron Hetmyer 8.5 and David Warner 6.25. Yeah. I mean, that is the best replacement. Shimron used to play for them. That's probably the best replacement in the IPL this season.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, David Warner used to play at Delhi. He's back to Delhi now. He's going to be opening the batting with Prithvi Shaw. Simon, do you give them top marks as well for today, the Delhi Capitals?
Yeah, I do. I give them a very, very high mark today. I think they've had a really good day. The buy of Warner, we all talked about that a lot. But I mean, you run through a bit of a batting order: Prithvi Shaw, David Warner, Mitchell Marsh at 3, Rishabh Pant at 4.
Pant at 4.
Punt at 4.
They need 5 and 6, Simon.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, what's wrong with Safraz Khan at 5? Maybe if you think if he's going to play, they've invested in him. Maybe give him an option there. Is Cricbuzz going to play? Probably not. He's their backup keeper. But then you've got your quick bowlers in Nokia and Mustafizur Rahman. Aksar Patel can bat at 7, possibly. I think Shardul can bat at 8. So they're probably only missing a number 6 in that lineup. Kuldeep could play. So, they've got a lot of bases covered. I think they've had a very, very good day.
Harsha, for you? Agree?
Well, I think also they've got a decent amount of money left for what they need to buy. They don't need to buy a lot. They need to bolster their bowling a little bit because they've got Anrik Nokia. Slight injury problem there with Nokia. Don't know about his fitness. Hasn't played for a while. They might need a replacement for Nokia. We don't yet know when the South African players are coming. There's not complete clarity on that yet. So they'll need a backup on Nokia. They'll need someone at 5 and 6. I think they'll need one more spinner if Kuldeep gets the yips at some point, which he shouldn't. But they've got 16 crores and 4 or 5 places to fill. I think they're pretty well placed tomorrow.
Delhi has done. I think also Delhi had the most number of bids, Simon, because they're a joint venture and both the owners were sitting there today. Pat Jindal from JSW and Kiran Gandhi from GMR. So that's why they both. That's why.
And we both know. I mean, we both know Kiran really well, and I think he just gets a bit. I'll just put the pedal up, see what happens. Have a bit of fun, play around. He's a joker. He's a very serious man, but he's also a really funny guy and quite a joker. And I think sometimes you just go, well, we're not going to get this guy, but we'll just have a bid here. Put the pedal up.
I remember when they were trying to get Rahul Dravid to the team. As one of the coaches, I think he says, "Oh, my kids and his kids go to the same school." So I just spoke to him at the parent-teacher meeting, which I knew he was kidding, but with him it could have been true as well. Just love that about him. Well, they were there, of course, today. Let's have a look at the next team. Delhi in a good position to round it up. Basically, they've got about 16 crores. They've not only have they filled their slots with quantity, they've also filled that quantity with very good quality, very diverse quality. So Delhi will be happier at dinner today. Let's have a look at what Punjab has done. Punjab, of course, big news of the day today. Let Shah Rukh Khan go, bought him back for close to 10 crores. We knew that there's going to be fervent bidding for Shah Rukh Khan. Did we expect it to go this high? Maybe not. I don't know. But there we are. They've managed to get him joy, which really makes me think why they let him go. Was it a thing of maybe Shah Rukh not agreeing to being retained at 4 crores?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a question of his retention. Punjab has had a problem with retaining people because somehow people have not enjoyed their system. And one of the reasons they've not enjoyed their system is if you have 2 owners who are moving in diverse directions, the management is torn between the 2. This tends to happen. But look, they had a lot of money in this auction. I don't think they've done really badly. They've deployed themselves well. They've picked up a lot of the guys that they originally had. They bought them back. If you see, from Prabh Simran to Shah Rukh Khan, they've gone back. Ishan Chahar also was a part of their system. So they've tried to buy back guys saying that, you know what, these guys understand the system. We work with these guys. We know a little bit more. And look, that is an IPL secret that people really underestimate. You basically have 4, 5, 10 days going into an IPL season because players just assemble that much before that. So if you know the guys well and you know their bodies and you know what they can do, it's that much easier. So notice how much a lot of teams are trying to repeat players that they think that, they've invested in already. That's one of the reasons for that. I think Punjab's done well, not spectacularly well. They've bought back Harpreet as well, but they've done okay for themselves. I would have thought, given the money they had, they would have bullied people more and they would have picked up at least one more marquee name. I would have thought one of Shreyas Iyer or David Warner would have been theirs.
All right, they've got
my worry for them. My worry for them is if Johnny Bairstow comes a little late and Kagiso Rabada comes a little late. Now, suddenly look at this team for their first 2 or 3 matches and you say, okay, I don't have Bairstow, I don't have Rabada. If that happens, Bairstow will definitely come a little late. Rabada might be allowed. Now, suddenly that team is starting to look a little different. And they've got to look at it from that point of view. They need to buy overseas fast bowlers, of which there are quite a few available still. So they need to buy overseas fast bowlers. They've got Harpreet Brar. They've got Rahul Chahar.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring the squad back. Yeah, let's bring the squad back. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got players like those. So they've built a little, but the good thing for them is they've got a lot of money left. But I still think they've got a fair amount of buying to do, and they've got those 28 crores. I think you'll see a lot of activity from Punjab tomorrow.
Yeah, totally agree, Harsh. They're going to need some overseas talent to make up for those little losses that are going to be there at some stage through the early part or the late part of the season. But I think there's going to be some players that will just go at base price. And if they're only guys that you're looking at to say, okay, we probably only need this guy to play 2 or 3 games, maybe 4 games. They're pretty much going to warm the bench. I think they're going to pick up some really good players tomorrow at a base price. At Josh Philippi, I don't know about Jai Richardson or the quick bowlers.
Don't say Jai Richardson to Punjab again.
A little bit more expensive, but I mean, there's going to be enough players in that international bracket, I think, that will go at base price tomorrow. So if you're only looking at a guy to go 1 or 2 games for you, I think you might be all right. You'll be able to pick up enough of those players to fill those gaps. I don't think they've had a bad day. They've got the nucleus. If that team is all together, there's a nucleus of a decent team there. There's a couple of parts to fill in for them.
Yeah, I was just saying that there are 4 Indian players who walk into their first 11.
Yeah.
You have Shikhar Dhawan, Mayank Agarwal, Rahul Chahar, and Shah Rukh Khan. These 4 guys walk in.
Singh.
And Arshdeep as well, I think.
5. Yeah, Arshdeep as well. 5. So you've got 2 Indian first 11 slots to fill as well. And that's something worth looking at as well. But I think there are enough players and they have enough money. If they play well tomorrow, they have enough money.
Excellent. Now we've got, I think we've got Gautam Bhimani joining us again from Bangalore. I think we have him from Ground Zero. He's been calling it Ground Zero. I think he's got Parth Jindal with him. We'll go to him in just a second. But I just want to point out that while we were talking about Punjab, Joy, of course, had a very good point again. And we've been talking about this since the morning, saying that there is a culture that players understand. And when you're hitting the ground running, which happens these days with international leagues and international fixtures, etc. Players come in literally at the last moment. What are you going to do? It really works if they already know what the score is. And Chennai has done that. Punjab has got some players back as yet. We've got Gautam now. It's a little hazy, the visual here coming in. I don't know. Maybe it's just all the excitement, the energy in the room. But he's got Parth Jindal with him. Gautam, if you can ask Parth first whether he and Kiran had some competition today of who'll do more bids, some friendly competition. Gautam, we have Gautam now. He's smiling, which means that he hasn't heard my question. He's got Parth Jindal with him. So
he's alongside us. Hear us because it's not where I am, but we're trying to battle tech.
Yeah, but now that we have you, real quick, ask. Oh, you have, okay. Please ask him.
Loud and clear.
Please ask him, Gautam. Please ask him to answer that.
Let me try.
Oh, it's still really patchy. I'll try again.
All right, part to ask you is friendly banter competition. Who have?
No. We work team and was the man. And I was a supporting actor.
Well, everyone, the one bid corner, the auction.
I'm very, very interested. Harsha and GK have to think this team. I chat a lot, so their thoughts on it. Did a pretty decent. Filled out very. We do to do tomorrow, but I should be sure getting that up top.
No. Please, Gautam, please tell Parth that we unanimously agree.
Hopefully, everything is permeating through to.
Yes, it is. Gautam,
to
please
just sum
tell.
Up your day, that steel. What
I would say, I would 9 on 10 in terms of trauma. I would a lot squad to other people, most of them. Tough to see much go to other teams. Wish them all the best, but overall, with Mitch Marsh, with Shardul Thakur, I think we very competitive, and with a little bit of work that tomorrow, with an eye on the future, I think we have things of a very good squad.
We have to please tell
Perfect.
Parth. Please tell
But I
Parth
think they
that
also-
unanimously we've all said
Thanks,
that
Parth.
they did the best today. So Delhi's definitely done the best today on the auction. They've rated themselves 9 on 10. I think we've given them a little more than that. They've done really well indeed, haven't they, Harsha? Harsha, can you hear me? Can nobody hear me?
Yes, I can.
Nobody
I got
hear
you.
me? I have no friends.
I got you. I
Nobody
can
love
hear
me
you.
anymore.
No, I can hear you. You were talking about DC and they're doing very well. So I thought you were delivering a solid lucky like you used to when in your delectable stage performances in Delhi when you were those 35, 40 years ago when you were
That's
about
right.
20.
When I was a youth. So so his big words. He's using his IIM words again. All right. I don't even know what they are. I just know
That is English,
segue.
Baba.
Segue, smaller words. Smaller word. I can do that better. But I just wanted to say that, Simon, I don't know if you've picked up, but while Joy was talking about Punjab, he said something about knowing players' bodies well. He's spoken about chasing your exes before today. Joy, I don't know what's going on, but I just want to tell you we respect it and we support you. That's all we want to say. Moving on.
I have two words for you: consenting adults.
That's right. Absolutely. None of our business. Let's have a look at the Mumbai team today and what they did. There was a time in the middle where you felt like they weren't buying anything at all. But then they came in and boy, did they come in big. Ishan Kishan, he's been the most expensive buy of today. They were high-fiving after getting him in more than 15. So they really, really wanted him. If only they could have had 5 retentions, that would have been their 5th, Harsha, by their attitude after getting Ishan today.
Oh, no doubt at all. I mean, you think at 15 crores you overpaid a little bit, but you've seen the high fives around the table. See Surya's post after that. They really wanted to have Ishan Kishan in. So if you notice, actually, for a long time, that was the only buy. They've only made some fringe buys after that. They got Murugan Ashwin, they got Basil Thampi, just in case they need to play another quick one day. They're going to do a lot of work tomorrow. The Mumbai Indians core 5-6 players are there today. Their team is going to be made tomorrow. And I think that is why they've got that 27 crores left. I hope that is their strategy, that they hold back. They're building an innings. They're going to the slogovers tomorrow. And I see them making a lot of good purchases tomorrow. They need another backup Indian fast bowler because they don't want to go into another IPL with just Bumrah as their Indian fast bowler. So they've got that to do. They've got some, I mean, they need a number 3, I think. Unless this young Brevis is going to be the guy they're going to try out because they've made a big punt on him. But they need a number 3 and they need that Pandya kind of player. Maybe they'll go Odion Smith tomorrow. So they've got place for one more big buy, one more really tactical buy for that number 6, number 7. But tomorrow is the day when Mumbai Indians make their team.
Baby AB, Simon, they were very happy with Baby AB.
Yeah, look at the moment. I mean, he's only the second overseas. So at the moment, it looks to me like they're thinking, he's going to play. He's going to be their number 3. I mean, you don't pay that sort of money and invest. I mean, maybe he's going to get a little look at the setup and see what it's like. I was at the Under-19 World Cup. He's a special talent, but again, I'll say it time and time again. He's bullying kids. He's bullying 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 19-year-olds. It is completely different kettle of fish. But he looks like he's got the goods to be able to transcend and make it, transfer those skills into the senior level. It just may take some time. They're 2 big things tomorrow. I agree with Harsha. They need an Indian quick bowler. I think they have the money to buy a Navdeep Saini, who will love the Wankhede Stadium if that's going to be part of their ground, or whether we don't even know where it's going to be played. But in time to come, I'm sure they'll be back there. They could afford Odion Smith maybe and Navdeep Saini, strengthen their bowling, give their batting a little bit, and then buy a couple of maybe cheaper options with the bat. So they've got the money to play a fairly big role tomorrow, I think. And they'll also go, I believe, for 1 or 2 of the real bright young under-19 Indian stars.
Oh, yeah, they would. And of course, and we keep talking about it, Joy, but we can't talk about it enough, because Mumbai just has their eye out on players that you haven't heard of. They've done it again and again. We spoke about it in the pre-show. There's about 5 superstars who've probably come through their scouting system. So, they're probably looking at those as well to fill up their slots. So there's a bit of comfort in their attitude there, even though they haven't got that many players.
Yeah, I think you're exactly what they know. They've got the core today. They've got 5 or 6 players today, and they've also got what I call is a recency bias quota, which is Baby AB. That okay, the Richard Levy of this season is Baby AB, and that's okay. It's done. It's there and done with.
Richard Levy scored runs yesterday, by the way. Richard Levy scored a lot of runs yesterday or day before and won his franchise a game yesterday.
Check whether his spinner was playing on the other side or not. They probably didn't have any spinners. No,
Yeah.
But seriously, I think Mumbai is going to boss it tomorrow, because in the kind of money you have, there are teams sitting on 6 crores, 8 crores, 9 crores. You're on 28 crores. So your first 2-3 buys you can do what I call relatively unmolested. No, nobody can really challenge you that much.
Jeez, the word you're using today.
Where's your theme today, Joy?
Guys,
What's
I've been in
theme
the
are we
hotel
working
room.
with?
I've been in the bio bubble in the hotel room far too long.
Okay. Because I was thinking it's Saturday night in Gurgaon, and suddenly Joy is like, Saturday night in Gurgaon, things go crazy. We know that. But he's not in Gurgaon. Otherwise, there would be a very simple explanation for this behavior.
Moving on.
They could move. They could really bully things. They could bully proceedings tomorrow. If we just pull up the list of the money that everyone has left, all the teams have left from their purse, get a fair understanding right now, kind of the midpoint in the show. We can just pull that up again. You have a fair understanding of where every team is and how much really they can bully. And you have a look, and Mumbai is actually sitting on the most money, which is almost on the most money. Punjab has a little more, but Mumbai sitting on the most money is quite symbolic about the economy, not just their cricket team. But tomorrow they can buy quite a few. So I think that's what they're going to do. It's worrying for them because they only have 8 players right now, but we keep saying it again, that they just have an eye out on players that you've not heard about, you're not expecting, and they tend to fill up their numbers there, and they have the money to go big for some known international and domestic names as well. All right, so that's Mumbai. Let's move on to the next team now. Let's have a look. Who are we having a look at next? Tell me. Yeah. All right, Lucknow. Busy people today, Harsha, weren't they? They were not doing any Pehle Aap at this auction. They were like Pehle Hum.
I think they've had a really good day today. They've got a few things to do. They don't have a lot of money left, so they'll have to be a little clever tomorrow. They've got 11 players. They've got to buy 4 overseas. But look at what they've got. I think they've got one of the steals, Quinton de Kock. So Quinton de Kock, KL Rahul, Manish Pandey, Deepak Hooda, Marcus Stoinis, Jason Holder. That's a pretty good top 6. Then there's Krunal Pandya, who's floating at 7. They've got Ravi Bishnoi. They've got Avesh Khan and Mark Wood. I think if Wood is available for the entire season and his body stands up to his ambition, then I think they've got a really good 10-player list. Very few teams can say they've got a really good 10-player list. Now they've got to hope that all of them are available, that all of them stay fit, because I think they've got a really good core over there. Now they've just got to bolster it with a little money that they've got. They've got to look at little value picks, but I think they've got the core of a team. They've paid a lot of money for some players, but I think they've got the core of the team there.
Yeah, they've done well today, Simon. You'd rate them right up there with Delhi in terms of their planning and the execution that they've done today.
Absolutely. I think they've gone out to spend their money on a first 11 and then maybe try and find some backups at a later stage. And I think that's one of the things that they've decided. We want a really good first 11. First and foremost, it's our first year. We want to set the standard. We want to make sure that we get this right and we get a winning combination early on in the tournament. I think they've got, as Harsha said, I think they've got 9 to 10 absolute standout first team starters already, which very few sides, maybe Delhi's the only other side that has that at the moment. So to me, that's a great start for them. They've just got to buy wisely tomorrow. It's going to be very tough with little amount of money. What are they? Just under 7 crore left. So, they're not going to be able to compete with other teams, other franchises on the bidding wars. they're going to have to buy really smart as far as base price or just over is concerned, and not show their hand too quickly if they're looking to buy someone.
Yeah, it is, isn't it, Joy? That it's such a good point from Simon. No bidding wars for them tomorrow. They just have to take what they can get, essentially. They just have to hope that the players that they want are just not wanted by anyone else, which is very rare.
No, this time of the auction, when you have that little money, you go for what we call price inelastic players. That means really players who you think at a particular level. So you'll have a list of 15 international batsmen.
Yeah.
You can't be choosy about which one you want.
Yeah.
All you can say is that whichever 10 of these 15 I like, whichever of these 10 come at this price, I'll take them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we've done that once before in KKR in 2011, international fast bowlers, and we said if we are going to go for 2 Indian batsmen, as we did with Yusuf Pathan and Gautam Gambhir, we are never going to have the money to buy a really good international bowler. But you know what we said? We said after Malinga, all the other bowlers, really, there's not that much difference between them, fast bowlers in quality. So what we said was the first international bowler of these 6 who comes at 300,000, we'll buy him. It turned out to be Brett Lee, we bought him. So they're going to do exactly the same thing. They're going to turn around and say, this is my list of international players. These 12 international batsmen, any of these come within 3 crores, I'm buying them.
That's it.
Fantastic.
There's some very good international players come tomorrow. Some really good international players coming tomorrow. I'll give you one example. Tim Southee is coming tomorrow. Right? How many players are going to go big on a player like a Tim Southee who's enjoying a revival in his career? He's safe in the field. I keep saying that your player has to be safe in the field. And at number 8, you got Tim Southee coming. You need 25 to get from 16 balls. You've got a player who can do that, but he's not. People are not breaking the bank, so they'll have to go and buy players like those who they can get very well. You know, a backup. Simon mentioned Josh Philippe, for example. That kind of backup player, maybe an Alex Hales. For all that, you know, I don't think they need too many people at the top of the order, but they probably need someone like that at 5. A Tim David kind of player if he doesn't get too much bidding. So they'll have to pick, but there are those quality international players available. The good thing for them is Manish Pandey, KL Rahul, Deepak Hooda, Krunal Pandya, Ravi Bishnoi, Avesh Khan. They've got 6 Indian players. So they just need to pick up 2. I think they've had a good day.
Okay, let's have a look at the Gujarat Titans. How did they do today? They also had 3 players going into this: Captain Hardik Pandya, Rashid Khan, and Shubman Gill, and they've been busy as well. They've been buying a few players. They got Rahul Tewatia. They beat out CSK to get him. Big price for him. Big price for Loki as well. Jason Roy at base price. Well, that's a big bonus for them. But look at their pace bowling. Pace bowling's looking good, Joy. You've got Mohammad Shami. You've got Lockie Ferguson. You've got Rashid Khan coming in with some spin later. It's looking good. International superstars, all 3 of them.
Yeah, I think their bowling is excellent. Their problem is Amitabh Bachchan, the big B, batting. They do not have established batsmen. Take a look down that order. There aren't enough. There's Shubman Gill, there's Jason Roy, and then there's this huge void until you reach Hardik Pandya. That's my problem. And Rahul Tewatia, they paid money for him. I think Rahul Tewatia, I like him. He's a fighting cricketer. Anyone buys Rahul Tewatia for 60, 70, 80 lakhs, 1 crore, 1 crore 50, and I say, wow, terrific. Fighting cricketer, will bat at 7 or 8, will give you a few runs. Cannot bowl 4 overs. I don't believe Rahul Tewatia bowls 4 overs for you. He bowls you 2 overs. And then he's going to give you stuff twice a year. I mean, he's not going to give you stuff every day. They've paid far too much for players like Rahul Tewatia, who I think is our journeyman. That's my worry for them.
Simon, do you think that Sheldon Cottrell is calling him and say, listen, I need a commission of that money? Hang on.
I think so. Look, it's well documented, and you know that innings in Sharjah will be talked about a lot. But the bottom line is, it's happened twice in 4 years. He is not a 9 crore player. It just They was mist over their eyes when they were bidding, because it just made no sense whatsoever. And one of the poor, along with the Purans and the Hetmeyers and those, I think that was one of the poor buys of the day, to be honest, the poor spends of the day. As Joyce said, if you pick him up for 2 crore, you're thinking, okay, it's good. all right, we can do a job for us. He can bowl us a couple of overs. If we have to play him, he might win a match or two with a bat for us. But he's not a 9 crore player, and they could have saved that money and done a lot better tomorrow. I like some of their options, but that was an option that I just did not agree with at all.
Harsha, there's been a few that you've disagreed with today.
Yeah. Look, see what they've done now. Who are their big players out of the players they've got? Jason Roy, big player. Rashid Khan, big player. Lockie Ferguson, big player. Now, if they're constructing 11, there's only a place for one more. And that one more player has to be a batsman, has to be a middle order batsman. If they can get that middle order batsman, look at what the bowling's looking like. Shami, Ferguson, Rashid Khan, a little bit of Hardik Pandya if he's bowling, a little bit of Tewatia. If you then say those two are my 6 and 7, but I'll have another bowler and I'll have really good 4 and 5, then the team is starting to look good. So tomorrow, they're looking at those players, but is that Indian player still to come? There's a few capped Indian players to come, but they can only go for 1 or 2 big overseas players. They've got to be really careful. And look at this side now and say, Ferguson's got a hamstring. Oops.
Yeah. Or a calf, which he's done. So we saw through that World Cup calf muscles. He's starting to get those little niggles. He's not going to play 14 games for you, and I think that's a really, really tough ask if he's going to be having to play 14 games.
Yeah,
they paid 10 crores. They wanted to play every game. They want him to be in every session, every game. They want Ferguson on the ground for that money for every single game.
Yeah, and 24 deliveries in every game as well. So you need him and you need him for 4 overs. So have a look
and at the death and in the middle, they want him everywhere with that kind of money.
Yeah, that's right. They want 4 overs from him everywhere. So let's have a look at the next team that we have. Bring it up because we're ready for you. Are we done? We did all 10. That's it. No 11th, 12th, nothing. No. That's coming a few years later. Okay. So just to round it up, actually, because that discussion, I think what Simon said about Rahul Tewatia, it always takes me back. There was a lot of players who changed teams today and gone for.
Did we do Rajasthan?
Did we do Rajasthan?
No, we didn't.
No,
we didn't do Rajasthan.
Come on. Don't sell Rajasthan
problem,
short.
When there's 8 teams,
don't sell Rajasthan short. We didn't do Rajasthan. Come on.
When it's
catch,
8
Simon.
teams, it's so much easier.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm the one holding the show together. Come on, what's going on?
Yeah, Julie. You know why? Early bird catches the worm. Yeah.
Hey, the birds are singing too. The birds are singing.
the birds are singing in my brain right now.
Don't bite into an apple.
Yeah, the birds are singing in my brain right now. But we were just talking about players like, the Glenn Maxwell example comes to mind, where he went for a couple of franchises, a couple of teams. They didn't get the best out of him. Then he went to Bangalore. He's had this killer season there, gets retained again. I think a lot of this is also based on hope. A lot of it is based on, hey, we know this potential, and there is also this arrogance of, yes, I can unlock that, right? So sometimes that comes into play as well. We'll just discuss that point right after we look at this. They have Sanju Samson as their captain. They've got Joss Butler, Shashri Jaiswal, are the ones they retained. Today they've picked up Ashwin Bolt, Hetmeyer, who was just bizarre high bidding for him. Devdutt Padikkal also close to 8 crores. Prasidh Krishna close to 10. Yuzi Chahal, I think, has been their one bargain today. Otherwise, the others, Joy, we were discussing this before, ain't a Moneyball team no more.
Moneyball went out a long time back. After the new television contract, Moneyball completely went out. There were only 2 teams who used to do Moneyball before that, for Punjab and Rajasthan, and they stopped immediately. I think that's the problem.
But Punjab money and ball didn't always go together.
True that. Absolutely true. But that's the point, that I think when you're not used to spending money, and for the last 3-4 years, they've been said, okay, you've got the same purse as everyone else, spend it all. They've just gone and they've just splurged. And I think exactly as you were talking about, Prasidh Krishna, great choice. He's a great bowler. I think he's doing very well. I think he's a shade just a bit too expensive. And why would you play that much for Devdutt Padikkal if you have 2 openers? So I think those things, Riyan Parag, I'm not going to go into, because I know it's an emotional subject for a lot of people. I don't agree with the amount of money they spend on him every year, even when they spend 20 lakhs. So I mean, there's obviously a difference of opinion there, but look, there must be something there because Rian Parag was bid upon by 3 other teams. So obviously, other teams are also seeing something there that I can't see.
I'll tell you what, Joy. I think, sorry, Simon, I'll just finish quickly.
Yeah.
I think there's not enough Indian players for 10 teams. You're looking at 120 Indian players, right? You're looking at 17, the playing 11, and maybe about 35 backups. You're looking at 110 Indian players. I don't think there's enough. So the moment there's familiarity, everyone's going. Murugan Ashwin, familiar, I'm going. I mean, he's a good player. And I think that is where players like Rian Parag have scored. But let's look at Rajasthan Royals dispassionately, Dooley. Who've they got to bowl? Trent Bolt, Prasidh Krishna, Yuzvendra Chahal, Ravichandran Ashwin. There's 16 overs there. Most days, there's 16 overs available there.
Yeah.
They need to find another all-rounder who can get them a little bit. If Padikkal can bat at 3, they've got Butler, Jaiswal, Padikkal, and they've got Sanju Samson. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've
And
got 4 up and 4 at, they've got 4 up, 4 back. They need to fill it with those 3. I agree about Rian Parag. So they can't count Rian Parag. So they've got 12 crores to fill 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, and they've probably got an option to pick up for one of someone better, a Jimmy Neesham type player who can give you a couple of overs, bat in that area. Won't have to pay a lot for him, I don't imagine. But I was interested listening to Jake with Gautam earlier, and he quite blatantly or quite openly, said that they would open with Butler and Jaiswal, Padikkal at 3, and Sanju at 4. Now, if that's the way they want to play it, that's fine by me. I don't mind it at all. Sanju Samson can play the quicks. He can play the spinners. I've got no issue with that. They've openly said that that's the way they'll have their top 4. So really, they're looking for 5, 6, 7. And then those bowlers you spoke about, Ashwin, you've got Bolt, you've got Chahar and Prasidh Krishna. I mean, that's a very, very good bowling attack. It's the one thing that I think Rajasthan have probably missed out on a little bit is a quality bowling attack. Now, if they can add a Neesham in there, and one other player who can bowl at 5, then or Neesham bats 5, and they find someone else that's batting at 6 to bowl and that can bat. It's not a bad side. It's not a bad first 11.
Okay, and the last team that we have is Hyderabad. Let's have a look at what they've done.
Unatkat, Sakaria. They can buy back Unatkat, buy back Sakaria. So they've got options. By the way, Simon, we didn't know Hyderabad either. So he was he's got 8 programmed in his head.
We're so used to having 8-team competition, aren't we?
Yeah,
we just forgot to.
I've just decided that I'm not subscribing to the 10-team tournament. I'm still going to be doing 8. The bottom 2 teams will not have any love from me. But that only is when the tournament starts. Right now, we've got Hyderabad left. Hey, listen, the crew's had a long day as well. We what a bit fuzzy in the head, yes. But with Hyderabad, Joy deciding that they wanted to go for India bowlers at one point in time, there was 2 parts of Hyderabad today. The first part of the auction where we thought they hadn't checked in yet with the marquee players, not a single bid from them. And then towards the end that anybody with an Indian passport and who could bowl, they were bidding for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. I think, look, if you hide a team's paddle and they find it only in the second half, they're going to go after people. It's bound to happen. But that's the thing. But again, they've got this population of Indian fast bowlers. So basically, Rajasthan has all the openers in the country. Hyderabad has all the budding fast bowlers in the country. Yeah. Interesting thing is people like Abhishek Sharma. I mean, Abhishek Sharma, they remember Delhi. He was traded from Delhi to Hyderabad. They tried him once or twice. He didn't quite work, but they went in the auction. They went fair amount of money for him. Now, I don't know what has happened to change their opinion of him so much that the kind of money that they're paying for him now. And they picked up Priyam at base price. They are also, again, trying to repeat a lot of the guys they have. They haven't repeated the fast bowlers because obviously they feel a lot of their old fast bowlers were just a bit past it. I think they just, repeated the bare minimum that they wanted. But, people like Siddharth Kaul and all haven't shown themselves. And I don't think they'll be a part of this. Yeah, I don't see Sandeep Sharma and Siddharth Kaul making their way back.
There's a lot of their fast bowlers, Joy. It's interesting. They've picked 4 fast bowlers and they made a big bid for Avesh Khan, who's the 5th. But their fast bowlers, Sandeep Sharma, Siddharth Kaul, Khalil Ahmed, none of them have come in the auction yet. So you'll get Jaydev Unadkat, Chetan Sakaria. There's a lot of Indian fast bowlers still to come in this auction. Argaz Nagwaswala,
Khalil Ahmed.
Arnas, Khalil Nagwaswala, who's been with the Indian team for a while as a net bowler. They've got a lot of those bowlers still to come. But who's going to open the batting for them? Is Washington Sundar going to open the batting? Is Abhishek Sharma going to open the batting? There's one more option. Is Rahul Tripathi going to open the batting? They need to fill that batting. Otherwise, they've got Williamson, they've got Puran, and that's 25 crores there. So Williamson and Puran are going to win them 3 matches each.
They're looking tomorrow. They're looking heavily tomorrow, I think, at a combination of 2 of Livingston, Markram, Evan Lewis. They're looking at a combination of 2 of these guys tomorrow to spend some decent money on, I think. I think you'll see Sunrisers or Hyderabad go quite heavily for Liam Livingston, Aidan Markram, Evan Lewis, at least 1, if not 2 of those sorts of guys tomorrow to have that power at the top of the order.
Okay, who are the players that are coming up tomorrow? Who are the big ones that we expect coming up tomorrow? 3 of the names that you've taken right now, Simon. Those are the ones to look forward to. Joy, who are the ones you're looking forward to tomorrow?
I really think that in a 10-team auction like this, people like Rahane and all still have a lot to give. People like Ajinkya Rahane have a lot to offer. They've been hard done by. There are, as I said, Chetan Sakaria is somebody who's an exciting prospect. I really want to see how Akil Hussain, he's already shown he can adapt to Indian conditions. And the under-19 kids, Yash Dal, Bana, all these guys. I think the under-19 kids are exciting simply because there's a lot of potential there. If you can say that, but with the under-19 kids, most of these guys, you're going to turn around and say, these are 2-year projects. They probably will not start for me regularly till year 3. But if I can keep them for 2 years and build them, these guys could be great in year 3 and they could be retention prospects.
Look, that's how you're very good. Yeah. Very, very good international players coming tomorrow. Really good international players.
Yeah.
You've got Aidan Markram. I quite like Rassi van der Dusen, but he's a single skill player. He doesn't bowl or keep. But I like Rassi very much. But Aidan Markram, definitely. Liam Livingston, definitely. Dushmanta Chamira. There's a lot of very, very good international players coming tomorrow. There's 7-8 Indian fast bowlers coming tomorrow. So I'm telling you, tomorrow is when I think a lot of teams will be made. But I have a lot of time for Aidan Markram because he's 10 runs in the field. He's 2 overs of spin, bowls anywhere. Same with Liam Livingston. He'll bowl off breaks, he'll bowl leg breaks, he'll open the batting if you want, he'll bat at 5 if you want. So the Markrams and Livingstons are very, very important players for franchises tomorrow because they're so versatile and they tick a lot of boxes.
Can we put that list up just one more time before we go? I just want to have a look at how many overseas players each franchise has got and how many potentially could be bought tomorrow. If each franchise was looking for their total of 8, the numbers with the amount of money left to spend.
Oh, that one. Sorry.
Yeah, that one there. When you look at the overseas players, so you've got 6 available. There's 10, 14, 21. What do we got? 25, another 12. So 37 and 7 is 44, 48 and 6 is 54 players, overseas players, could be bought tomorrow.
Yeah,
54 overseas players could be bought, potentially. I'm saying some of these teams might not get to 8, but potentially could see 54 overseas players still bought tomorrow, which is quite incredible for all those guys sitting back thinking, oh man, I may not even get a bid now. So some of them are going to be absolute bargains.
Yeah,
to think about that.
Yeah.
Some of them, some of the Indian players will be absolute bargains as well, and some will be coming back.
Yeah.
Joy,
remember one more thing: because of the pandemic and everything that's happened, you've had relatively completely clear IPL seasons. Last couple of IPL seasons, you really haven't had players who stayed away because of other tournaments happening. What's going to happen now is you are going to have other matches, which means you need those extra. You can't do with 6 international players. You're going to have people away on international duty. That's something that for the last couple of years, teams haven't had to think about.
True. Australia is playing some T20s with Pakistan when the tournament starts. So you can be sure that some of their players will be coming later. So, yeah, that's a great point as well.
And all right, before we wrap up. Once you get there, you've got to isolate. I mean, for us, I mean, we've been asked to be available from the 23rd I think, so that we can isolate, which
So
is
about 5 days
impossible
before.
impossible for me to do, and it's impossible for the players to do. So you're not going to see, players there for the whole tournament, and it's going to be really tough. So Joy's spot on.
Okay, before we go,
Goodness, right?
let's wrap things up real quick, and we're going to start with the best buy of today. One sec, everyone's going to say David Warner or Ishan Chahar. Let's start with all right, let's do the other thing. Let's start with oh my God, I don't understand what happened with that moment of the day.
Puran.
Puran.
Easy on there as well, not Hetmeyer?
Yeah.
No, Puran. Hetmeyer's got a specific role. There's not a lot of players who can go at 4 or 5 and score runs in the middle overs. So at least Hetmeyer's got a role. Maybe they paid a little more for him. But Puran, I mean, I'm delighted for. He's a very fine young man. He's a good player. I'm delighted for him. I hope he invests it wisely. But he'll be very, very, very. He's one of the happiest people in the cricket world tonight.
Same for you, Simon. Again.
Yep.
Same thing.
100%.
And joy for you as well. We're all agreeing on that. All right. So then let's just go for the best buy of today. Is it Warner? Is it Chahar? Because Chahar's gone pretty easy as well, hasn't he?
I've got a different candidate.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go.
Quinton de Kock.
Are you going Quinton de Kock? I'm going to go Jason Roy. I think base price Jason Roy.
Yeah.
I think he's he's an international star. He's an international player. To me, anyone you can get at base price who is a current international and a very good international is a good buy. So I'm going to go Jason Roy.
Ooh, nice. Joy?
I'll stay with Warner because one more thing that really, really motivates Warner a lot is he's got serious PTP, point to prove. Okay. And kind of player Warner is, when he has a point to prove, he's going to go for it hard.
I was very worried at what PTP meant. Thank God it meant point to prove. With Joy in the mood that he's in, I was very worried what PTP meant. Reason I'm going Quinton de Kock is top order, left-hander, free hitter, wicket keeper, and 29 years old, available throughout the season. He's not playing test match cricket anymore. He's available the entire season. So there's so much going for Quinton de Kock.
Interesting. All right. Well, listen, tomorrow's another day. Which is every day, but tomorrow's another day of the auction is what I meant. And that's going to start at 12 noon. So we're going to be here at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. There we go. All of us are going to be here tomorrow as well. So 13th of February, 11 a.m. onwards, Indian Standard Time, which for Simon is
6 p.m.
6:30? 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m. Sorry, it's actually it's 12 hours ago.
One sec. What is it right now? Is it closing in on 6:30 a.m.?
It's 6:16 a.m.
It is. See, 12 hours then. 12 hours, tech check, right? Same place. We're going to be here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Right?
I'm about to go over there. That's where I'm going, over there.
I really hope you have blackout curtains, because otherwise you're going to be up in like 20 minutes. So really hope for your sake. All right, Simon, I'm going to start and thank you first. Thank you so much for being
guys.
here.
Really enjoyed it.
Through the night. You were truly, I don't know how many times you did that in your career, but today you were our night watchman. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And of course, a big thank you to Harsha Bhogle, who has been to 2 cities today and still been with us. So you've been up since 5 a.m., I'm guessing.
Alarm was for 5:30. Finished packing at 1, so alarm at 5:30.
There you go. So look at these old boys, new youth. The new youth. There you go. Orange is the new black. New youth. And Joy, of course, who's gone through the whole day today. I mean, you've gone through almost 12 hours without mentioning volleyball even once. So I think that's amazing. I think kudos to you. Well done. And of course, congratulations on all the success of the Volleyball League. We've been following that. So good job there as well. Okay. We're going to wrap up now. We're going to see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Lots of players there. Lots of analysis still to do. Lots of teams that are looking to fill their personnel. We're going to be here to talk about it. I'm Gaurav Kapoor. You were watching Kisma News presents Cricbuzz Live. It's good night from us. It has been a long, long day.